Okay, so how are you feeling right now?
I just want to take it all out in the street and burn it.
This is something new I've learned about you. You don't like to move. You weren't like this when we moved from our apartment to our house.
Oh, we didn't have that much stuff.
We're not bringing anything with us. What
No,
are
but
you
we still have
talking
to
about?
Get rid of it all. And it's
People have been coming to pick it up.
No, they haven't. I had to help somebody move twice today. They didn't come pick it up. I had to bring my own furniture to them.
That's what happens when you move.
I don't want to move. What I want to do is say goodbye to everyone and then just leave.
Doesn't work like that.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey listeners, ever wonder what it would be like to sell everything and travel the country at the tender age of 50? Well, with our last kid off to college and the ability to now work remotely, we've decided to do just that. So we're selling the house, loading up the dog, and hitting every city from California to Florida. We're scouring the country for a new place to call home and dragging you into every restaurant, Airbnb, and tourist trap we encounter along the way. This is the Skiptown All-Stars podcast.
All right, All-Stars, we're back. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Things have changed dramatically since our last episode, but before we get into that, I want to introduce our very special guest, our youngest daughter, Ellie.
Hello, I'm Ellie. Thank you for having me, Mom and Dad. I really appreciate this opportunity.
So, Ellie, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a volleyball player.
D1.
Thanks, Mom. I'm on my way to college right now. In my free time, I enjoy spending time with my friends and eating good food.
And you grew up in LA,
And I grew up in Los Angeles. Do I say where I'm going to school?
Yeah, you should say where you're going.
I'm going to Seattle University in Seattle. Super excited. Oh, I'm studying political science and I'm minoring in economics. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very good.
Really excited.
Very good. You were our only child to grow up in that house their entire lives.
Yes.
How are you feeling right now?
Still a little upset. The first day driving up and leaving the house was really, really hard. I think I'm mostly just going to miss having a place like that house where I can invite all my friends and we would have Christmases with all our family friends and New Year's Eve parties and stuff. And also just leaving for college and not really having a place to come back to. I understand, we have friends and families who are very generous and say oh, you're always welcome to stay with us, which I do appreciate, but it's not the same as, coming home to my childhood house. So that's the only thing. I feel like my whole life was uprooted on a regular Monday. So yeah.
Should we have waited?
I think you should have.
How long?
Just until...
Because is there ever really a good time to move, Ellie? Let's be honest.
I really thought that you guys were going to wait until the first of the year. That's how I thought it was going to go. You guys were going to be there for a couple months.
And we did talk about that. And it did shift for us as well when the market started shifting. So our original plan was the fall.
I just thought the first of the year would be a lot better because it would give me some time to settle into college. And if I wanted to come home, I could come home. And then when I'm there for Christmas, then I can get the rest of my stuff out. Whereas my last summer before I go to college was just really painful and full of
so no parent
stuff.
of the award here is what
no,
you're saying.
Absolutely not. No.
But how long, honestly? How long have we been talking about moving?
A while, but
what's a while? What's a while?
I don't even
years, Ellie.
Years.
Okay, so say it.
But it's just a little annoying. You guys literally waited for me to
graduate.
Literally waited for me to get out of the house.
We waited for you to graduate. Yeah,
yeah.
We did
it's
that.
a little annoying. So
It's a little annoying.
yes.
Why? Were you planning on a little more time in the party house in the back?
Or just not having to spend my last summer packing up my whole house. I wanted us to maybe go on a vacation, maybe Mexico.
We're on a vacation right now. What are you talking about?
Look at this beautiful place Dad brought us to.
We have to get into that in a moment. But,
okay, why apologize?
No, you don't.
I think that I've been trying to, continuously put myself in your shoes these past few months. You've had a lot of major life changes. You graduated high school. You sealed the deal on going to college and playing. You have said goodbye to all your friends. You were the first one to leave out of all your friends, right?
Yes, that's true.
How was that?
Really hard. Again.
Now, why were you the first person to leave? Explain to the listeners why you, out of your group of friends, had to go to school so early.
Okay, so volleyball is a fall sport. So that means that my season starts, my first game is like end of August. So I actually, compared to a lot of my friends who are playing volleyball in college, I left later than everyone. So I left at the 1st of August, but I have friends who left like the last week of June to prepare because since it's a fall season, you only have so long before the season actually starts. So they want you to come as early as you can during the summer.
So you were the first to leave out of your group of friends.
Yes, I was.
And that was hard.
And that was hard. Yeah, I think it's just we spent so much time together. I really like developed this friend group where we had like a really good like thing going on. We'd spend like almost every single day together and we just got super close. And it took us like all a while to find a friend group like that. So it's just even worse that like we finally like found our people and now we have to like go and not be with each other again.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you have felt better if you were the last kid to leave? What would that have felt like?
I don't know, because one of my best friends, she's the last one to leave. Like she's leaving very late. I don't know what's worse. I feel almost lucky I get to start everything early. So I guess I'm not going to be looking at everyone else having an amazing time in college and being like, God, like I'm still at home. Like I'm still just, doing nothing. But it also just does suck because they get to have a lot more time with each other than I do with them. So it honestly just depends. I don't think I would want to be the last one. I think a solid middle, like August 17th would have been fine. Like that's probably the prime time.
That would have been the sweet spot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I'm just excited that I get to start making friends and having memories earlier and stuff. So.
Yeah, very soon. Within 24 hours, we'll be
Yeah.
in Seattle. We have a couple of things to talk about in between, but what's your vibe on everything shifting tomorrow? What is on your mind right now the minute you arrive in Seattle?
I think I want to meet up with my roommate because she's been there for like a week now. So I'm excited to do that. I'm honestly just really nervous. I know I'm going to enjoy, like get really close to my team, but I just feel like that first meeting might be like it's going to be very nerve wracking. And we also have like an open gym tomorrow too. So they're going to see me play for the first time, which is nerve wracking. But honestly, I'm just excited to kind of like, we have to pick up my stuff for my dorm. I'm excited on Friday. I get to actually like move in and unpack and everything. So yeah. I think like that'll be exciting. It's just honestly like the volleyball aspect I'm probably the most nervous for because obviously it's college volleyball. I've never done it before, so it's going to be a change of pace.
Yeah, for sure. For the listeners, Mia is our second daughter, and she was actually home this summer with us. She's actually left in LA right now, house sitting and staying with a friend for a few weeks. She does not have to go to school until mid-August. How was it saying goodbye to Mia?
It was hard, but it wasn't as hard as when she first left last year because now I like learned what it's like to just like be the only child in the house. And also she's coming. We've already like made a plan for her to come visit me within a month anyways. So I'm not like, oh, when am I going to see her? And her best friend is also going to the school that I'm at. So it's like, it's not like we're cutting off contact and I'm never going to see her and she's on like the opposite side of the country. So it was sad and I felt really bad that she's left in LA, but it wasn't as like upsetting as it was the year before when I was like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like without her. Like now I'm just like, okay, like she's going to come and visit and we're going to have a great time and I can always call her. Like we FaceTime all the time anyway. So it won't be like much has changed
because she'd already, you've already gotten into a rhythm with her being away for school. Exactly. We're going to talk to her in a couple weeks, but were you a little surprised at how emotional she was?
I honestly was. There were times where she was really upset and I wasn't, which I was like, I feel like I should be more upset because she's so upset. I feel like her and Parker, my other sister, the oldest sister, they had like time to like kind of like be away and then come home and pack their like, they took half their stuff out of the room already, whereas I was like, taking down my photo wall of all my friends throughout the year and like having to really go through everything because we were giving everything away. So I was a little surprised. I mean, it's understandable why she was upset, but I didn't think that she would be as upset as I was, you know,
Yeah.
like that
Well,
I was
sure, because-
What do you think the component was, though, that made her like just, you know, obviously it's a childhood home.
I feel like it just really like seals the deal of adulthood, honestly, like leaving the childhood home and selling it. I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't, like this shouldn't be happening. Like I feel like for the both of us, like it's happening. Like
I agree.
Like
I agree. My parents moved and I felt the same way.
Yeah, like I'm like I feel like I shouldn't be going to college and like
become an adult right away.
Becoming an adult right now.
You didn't have time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I should be like having all my birthday parties in our backyard until I die. So
sorry. I know. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's just like honestly, that's it for me. Like I like when I would be stressing out, it was mostly just because I'm like, I don't even like know like what I'm gonna do now. Like you're
still gonna be a kid. I mean, honestly, like our home is just gonna be someplace different. It's not gonna be the same, but you're not like, I look at it as though it's still your freshman year. Like you're still gonna be a freshman. So the house is gone, but it's just gonna be somewhere else. You're still a freshman. You're still a baby. You're still going to call for money.
Yeah, for sure.
Haven't done that.
Especially because you're out of all the kids, you're the only one who can't get a job. You're a full-time athlete.
I do.
Hopefully they coddle you a bit and pay for a few perks and take that off my plate. That would be nice.
I know.
Yeah.
So one question I have, and Mom and I have talked about this, as you and your friends were sort of rummaging through the fridge at 1:30 in the morning, it always perplexed Mom and I, because out of so many of your friends, our house was the smallest. Like
for sure,
so many parents that we know, like other families, have bigger houses, just
more
like
space.
Sort of more room for the kids to hide or do their own thing. Like what was it that made our house the spot?
I think it was just our family in general. Like we were always very welcoming to new people, and I always felt like my friends could feel really comfortable around you guys, whereas like they didn't really feel that with their own parents. And so they like were really like, I mean, a lot of my friends, like their parents are divorced, or like they don't have like, I don't want to say like broken family lives, but like they don't have like as strong of a family bond as we do. So I feel like they were always like very receptive to that, and they really wanted to like talk to you guys and, you know, have breakfast in the morning, have someone cook for them and stuff. So I think that was the main thing. It was mostly just like being in that little family room. We're all like, oh my God, we're all together and like we're gonna have pancakes in the morning and stuff.
Nobody ever complained. I mean, people were sleeping on floors with no blankets. Like it was insane. It was
like a flop house.
It was. I would walk over kids.
We actually had to pump the brakes on you for a while on the party. Like we did not want to be known as the party house. So we did have to put a stop to that. And side note, I appreciate you reducing the number of people after I gave that order that came over to just, your closer circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, nobody ever complained like that the living room or the family room was so small. I mean, like people were sleeping on the floor who had mansions.
Yeah. That's true. I don't even know. Like no one even complained.
That's
like
so crazy.
Yeah, when I would find people on the floor, they would just be like, I was on the floor. What's for breakfast? Like it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like it was just fun to like we could all just stay up really late and talk and hang out, and then we could all wake up and spend the morning together and have parents who were willing to cook for us. And yeah, it felt really nice. So
thank you. Your friends are so nice, and Mia's friends also,
yeah.
Like really sweet boys and girls alike. I would always ask Ellie when I would meet one of her friends, like boy friends, not boyfriends, and they left. I would always say, and not just boys, but boys do tend to have like the parent face more than girls do.
Yeah.
So I would always say to Ellie, is that the parent face or is that like the real face? And always that's the real face. Later on, sometimes she would say, okay, that real face just changed to the parent face. Like, but most of the time, 98% of the time, all your friends, it was legit. Like they were so kind. You have really good choice of friends.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
true.
that.
Yeah. And I will say, the 5 or 6 dudes that would come over to the house regularly, it's customary when dads are talking, oh, watch out, can't have boys over the house and all that.
Yeah.
Not with my little girl and all that. And I guess it was the vibe that you gave off because I just knew they were all friends.
Yeah.
And you really had no romantic interest in the crowd or anything.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Come on, stop it.
I
Now
know,
you're going to
right?
sound like
I
that
know.
parent, like
Now
my
I-
kid
now
doesn't
I'm-
drink.
yeah, I
Okay,
know.
stop it right now.
Well, I know they drank. So
I know, but you know
caught them
that parent that's like,
several
oh, my
times,
kid never does. Yeah. Okay. Who knows?
Just continue.
Okay.
But anyway, the boys were always so, obviously
Respectful.
they were respectful and they were so outgoing with me.
Yes.
They all took photos with me at
It
their
was really
graduation.
cute.
I don't even have
It's
a
so
horse in the
cute.
race. I don't even have a boy,
Yeah.
And so for the guys to be like, James, come take a photo with us,
And
it's
they
just,
posted on their Instagram.
yeah, I know. It was really flattering. I felt like one of the guys.
Oh my God.
I can tell you, I had a similar experience in high school where there were just a gang of us that sort of, would hang out with each other. And it was really enriching to see that you had a similar experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of my guy friends, and almost all my friends, we had all been friends for like all 4 years. I mean, like my closest guy friends, I had known them since I was 14. So I think that's also what made like leaving so hard, was that I had these guys that, like, I knew, and my girlfriends too, I knew I could really go to them for anything, or I could really rely on them, and I never felt uncomfortable or that I wasn't safe around them ever. And so like having people like that and knowing like how lucky I am, I guess, it was like, it made it that much harder, because I was like,
I
oh,
know.
like 4 years and I'm just like gone in a day, like it's just, that was like the
Sorry.
only thing. It's okay. But yeah, I am really blessed because now I know like kind of what I need to look for in guy friends and girlfriends. And I feel like had I not had that experience, I would have like finding a group in college would have been a lot harder for me. But now I have like standards of what I want in a friend, which is like all the credit is due to them. It's because of them. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry it ended abruptly, even though you saw it coming.
yeah.
The only thing I can really say as a parent is that if we hadn't sold the house, then I could have continued to sort of grind it out on jobs, multiple jobs, like I always do. And I'm kind of in an age right now where I can't keep carrying that on,
Yeah.
The era of having kids in high school was the perfect moment for me to say, I can try and work and keep this house and continue to pay all our bills and continue to pay tuition and do all these things, or I can sell the house and just have to worry about your tuition. And that's it. It's just allowing me to basically work only one job from a location where I want to visit or be or camp out for a month or two. And I'm sorry it came so, kind
It
of.
would have happened eventually, though, because you and your sisters could never afford a home in LA. And the one thing is, Dad and I, and we've talked about this in the previous episode, so I don't want to keep like rehashing it. But the truth is, we would had to have moved because eventually we want to all be together. And LA was never going to be that place for all of us. We would have a home, but the three of you probably wouldn't, or maybe one of you would, but not all of you. It's so astronomical. So where would we live in Los Angeles where all of us could be together? There was just, we'd have to move so far. So at that point, why even stay?
Yeah.
There are just barriers to entry, we feel.
Barriers. It's a perfect word.
In the Los Angeles region now, because it's so astronomically priced to live there. I kind of felt all along that you guys, part of the reason you guys wanted to go somewhere else is not just because you wanted to leave the state and get out of LA for a while, but you probably subconsciously also saw greener pastures in terms of how you can live your life just by some of the other places we visited,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, all the reasons for us moving, logistically, like they make sense. I mean,
in your heart,
it's just like
yeah, it
emotionally, like obviously
hurts.
I'm not going to be over the moon about going to college early, leaving all my friends, and not
Moving.
having a house. But yes, with the Los Angeles is not really, it's not really the, at least in my opinion, it's not really the place to be anymore. It's very scattered now. There's a lot of components. New York City, there's like the heart of the city, and they have subways and
Yes.
taxis and all of that. in Los Angeles, you need a car to drive. And when everyone has a car, the air is dirty. It takes you like 40 extra minutes to get anywhere, and it's just not practical. So yeah, I think I always knew I didn't, ever since I was little, I always knew I didn't want to stay here or there. So yes, it makes a lot of sense.
I know you've always said when you were little, you've always said ever since you were little, I want to live in a place where I can walk and where I can, be familiar with everyone and go to like the local bakery, and they, I know the person who owns it, and you are very much, you're a small town girl at heart with obviously big ideas. So it's how do we merge the two? So we have to find something that like fits that.
Yeah, I know. It's just, like Los Angeles, I just hated when, as soon as I turned 16, I waited a year to get my license, but everyone around me was like, I need to get my license right now. Like, who's going to drive me to all these places? Because it's so spread out now, and you always need a car to go anywhere. And yeah, I just don't like that. And so I'm excited to go to Seattle. I mean, obviously it's still a city, but my campus is like in the heart of the city, so I can just walk anywhere. They have like a good bus and public transportation system set up. So it's nice to know like the city actually cares about like the well-being of its people and like how they can get around and accommodate to them. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
All right. So how was, besides crying with your friends and your sister Mia, how was the last week for you? It was definitely different for us. Dad opened up the show.
Let's get into your week before we transition into ours.
Okay,
yes. The girl was never home.
Okay, wait. So first, let's just explain. Ellie has a core group of friends, and among those friends is Georgia Kreischer, who is the daughter of Bert Kreischer. I'm not revealing any new information if you've ever listened to his podcast. Leanne Kreischer and Bert have been very instrumental in us launching this podcast, as in Bert basically told me you should start a podcast. The day he showed me his studio, I was totally blown away by just what he could accomplish. And I understand, like, he's a big time comedian. We're never going to have the draw probably on a podcast format that Bert has achieved for himself, but just the drive, the hustle that this guy has put into it. And it comes out through his podcasts, the Bert Cast, Two Bears, One Cave. And then Leanne's podcast is called Wife of the Party. I'm grateful to them because it's something Denise and I can work on together and share while we're on the road, instead of, maybe arguing over music stations or
we'll still do that.
Yeah, I know.
Mine's always better.
But anyway, I felt like we couldn't go any further in our podcast.
Agreed. We're huge fans of theirs. They're amazing parents, and how they do it is unbelievable. He's such a hard worker. Leanne is such a hard worker. I honestly, like, hands down to them, like, they raised two beautiful daughters who are so nice and so grounded. I mean, living in LA and having a father like Bert who is recognizable, and his girls are really amazing. He's a great dad. She's a great mom, great wife. I mean, we're legit huge fans, and we were huge fans of theirs really before we even knew like who they really were. We just knew they were really nice parents and very welcoming and nice to Ellie all the time. And then they started us on this endeavor, and we're so grateful. Yeah,
it's been very inspiring. So to reel it back to your story, why don't you tell us what you, Georgia, Daisy, and Sophia have been up to this past week?
Okay, well, I knew my last week was coming, and coincidentally, I knew that Bert was filming a show, and they needed a PA, and they needed 4 PAs actually.
Just the number 4, the magical number 4.
They needed 4 PAs, and so we all agreed for my last week we would spend time together working on his show from like 9 to 6 p.m. every single day.
And what's the name of the show? Tell us the perks of this amazing show.
Okay, so the show, it's called Something's Burning, and Bert's actually a really great cook, and so is Leanne. So the whole thing is he'll invite different comics or YouTubers or celebrities, and he'll cook something for them. So my job as a PA was to go to the store with Georgia and Daisy and Sophia and get all the ingredients. And
Did you guys ever sneak anything for yourselves
we
in that
had
list?
to go to this
I'm sure there were
Asian-
some White Claws in there.
Never. Actually, we had to go to this Asian market like almost every single day to get random like slabs of meat and stuff and fish. And they had this one section that was just like fresh dim sum. And we, oh my God, it was so good. We would stand in that line, we're like, ooh, which one should we get? And we would get them all, and we'd try them. And, you know, there's always a couple Starbucks runs in there.
Stop it.
But it was really fun. It was just getting ingredients, like setting it all up, you know, craft services, just making sure everything was pretty much in line. And I loved it because it meant that I was at Georgia's house all day. Like,
Were you
every
even
single
working?
day.
I asked Dad.
Was. Oh my God,
I asked Dad,
was.
is she even working over there?
I was actually. It actually was very tiring because it was a lot of like going back and forth from the house, and like after they were done filming, if we did 2 episodes in a day, we would have to go wash all the dishes inside, then bring it back outside, and then dry them and reorganize it and just make it all look the same every single time. When they were filming, there was a lot of downtime, so we would just hang out. but when they weren't filming, we actually did do a lot of work. And
Did you get to eat the food after they shot the show?
yes. Well, I had to leave. Georgia, Daisy, and Sophia were all there a lot longer in the day than I was, but I had volleyball almost every single day at 6, so I always had to leave. So they got to try everything as soon as they were done, but then I would come the next day, and for lunch I would try everything. And
Sometimes it's better.
yeah, no, I mean, Bert's a great cook. I'm not gonna say what he made, but he's a great cook. So yeah, I wasn't complaining. And so it was really fun. It was such a great experience, and I know Dad doesn't want me to be a PA or anything, but
I do not want my children to go into the entertainment industry. I already have one that took the news path, and I'm still I have a little trepidation about that, but she's doing fine so far.
I'm fine with her PAing from now until whenever.
As a job.
As a job. I'm fine with it. I thought it was really, really nice that they offered that to you, and it was so generous that they brought you on set. I think just Dad and I, entertainment's a hard business, and you work long hours, and so we want something a little more stable for you. That's all. But being a PA, you can be PA from now until you graduate college. Make that money, girl.
Yeah, I know. First of all, Georgia was like, "Don't tell your dad that you like being a PA." But we were talking. We just thought it'd be like, since we've already done it, it's like, especially because like I'm gonna be in Seattle, so I can do projects like that. If I just literally like just for like a couple days, I want to just
really
pick up a
good
job.
money.
Yeah, and it's like you're around people, and it feels like you're actually like doing productive work. You know, like just
you
going
see a job
back and forth.
accomplished.
Exactly, and like getting to meet a bunch of other people.
And it's a
work with
creative
them.
process.
It is, exactly. So I felt like I could really like be productive, but also not just like sit for 6 hours and do paperwork. It was just a lot of like running back and forth, running errands, and yeah.
Well, that's in your blood. So I mean, there's no other way to say it. That's the exact person I was when I was your age.
And she's pretty active, so she's not a lazy person.
for sure. Well, that's a fantastic opportunity,
and a great.
I know you're leaving out the party time that happened after Bert's show and after volleyball. And, you know,
What do you mean?
we didn't see you for a week while Mom will tell you what we were up to.
Packing by ourselves. Seriously.
At first. But toward the end. I mean, it was a community project
at the end. No, at the end, everyone came because they all saw
had
that
to.
There was no choice. We were not going to make it. But I was really mad at you. I'm not going to lie. There were days.
I know.
There were days where I was packing up boxes and looking around, and your room was a disaster.
Yeah, she still had all her photos on the wall,
and she
all
was
her posters.
Ha ha he he the whole time. I have
like, hey guys, she'd come in and we would be just dripping sweat.
Yeah.
Hi.
I knew I was gonna get it done. I mean, I knew I was like, you know, I
You
wasn't.
needed help, though.
I wasn't.
I know, you got your stuff
supportive.
done.
I wasn't supportive of the project, so I was like, you know what? I'll just do my own room. I'm gonna keep to myself. The more I started keeping to myself and just doing my own room, the more she started getting angry with me, and the more you started getting angry with me, the more I was doing just my own room. So I was like, whatever, I'll go for a couple hours. I'll pack up all my things. And
Oh, so
then
you were
I'll
teaching
go-
me a lesson.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm gonna
How'd that
go
work?
hit the road.
How'd that work?
Honestly, I mean, my room was done a day earlier than the rest of the
Oh,
house.
stop it.
So I think it
Nazi
went
came
well.
and helped you and
She
knocked that out. Are you
did
kidding?
not. No. All my stuff was packed. She helped me put it into a Ziploc bag that you vacuum seal it up. She helped me consolidate it. I'm not gonna lie. She helped me go from 3 duffel bags to 2. But in terms of me
repacked you.
being ready, I was ready with those 3 duffel bags. So
Okay.
You were ready with those 3 duffel bags.
She wasn't,
Yeah.
but that's okay. We'll let her
Mom's
say
just
that.
mad because the living room the living room was a disaster.
The entire
for
house.
8 days
Not
straight.
the living room, the entire house.
It was a little discouraging,
it
I
was
have to
so
say, when I
bad.
woke up every day and walked out to the living room, and it just didn't look any different. Obviously, that was, for us, that's where our front door is. So that became the staging area for all the stuff we're giving away, all the stuff we were merging from other rooms. So that was the last room where
That's true.
I mean, we finally cleared it
Yeah.
out. We had to push back the walkthrough for the new buyer because we
weren't
still had
ready.
stuff on the living room floor.
We had to push back the pod arrival, the departure, because we weren't ready. Yeah, it was honestly, it was just a shit show. And it made us look so unorganized, like how you and I both run our own businesses and
Yeah.
do it quite well. And that looked like shit. There's no other way to say it.
Oh, no,
it was
we tanked.
terrible.
It was
We
a
tanked.
total tank job.
Yeah, like we looked like losers.
We lost. We took an L.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember at one point there was Lori, Amanda, Chris, Claire,
Matt Brewer.
Nazi and Matt, all these people.
I know.
And,
it was crazy.
I mean, everybody must have been.
Nazi. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. That's like so insane. She came over one day and was like, I'm a really good packer. And I was like, all right, come over. Because truthfully, when you have a big project like that and it's a huge mess, you don't know even where to point someone in a direction. Like you don't know what direction to even send them. And at one point I handed 2 blankets to her and I said, here, pack these up. And she said, no. She goes, I am not packing up 2 blankets. She said, give me a project. And I said, go in the family room. And that literally, I just said, I don't even know where to tell you to begin. And she just started taking stuff off the bulletin board, packing the bulletin board. She took everything off my desk shelves. Like she just did it. And she said to me, I'm an amazing packer. Give me another project. Every time we turned around, cute little Nazi was like, I'm done. What else? I'm done. What else? My sister-in-law texted me at one point and I said, I want to cry, but what's the point? Like crying isn't going to fix this problem. And we had friends who handled our moving sale. Like this wasn't as though we were just sitting around doing nothing and had friends who weren't helping. We had friends who actually handled the moving sale for us. So we had several helping hands and we aren't bringing anything. This is what is so frustrating is we aren't bringing anything other than our clothes, papers, and some pots and pans in the KitchenAid. So what the hell? Why was this so hard? I don't to this day, I'm like sitting here looking at you going, why was this so hard? I don't know. And I can't even give you advice. No, we're not burning everything on the front yard.
In
That's not
Ohio, we
happening.
just create
No.
a burn pit. We drag it out, we light it up, and we get a keg. And everybody just enjoys watching your things turn into ashes. We could have totally benefited from that. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to have open fires in LA County for obvious reasons, but I still say it's a great solution. I remember doing it when I left college, when I left various apartments.
Oh, you
all
just
throughout my
burned
time.
your furniture.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop
in the
it.
fraternity house, we would throw it off the
That
ledge.
should have been burned though.
Well, yeah, probably.
Okay, our furniture should not have been burned.
3rd, 4th hand-me-downs. Oh no. Well, you could tell the story about our furniture. Why don't we get into the moving sale and how successful that was?
Oh, it was not successful at all. So we had, and it wasn't because our friends who helped us weren't successful. They did everything. The truth is James has been saying it. No one wanted our stuff. Like that. We had these big ideas that we're going to sell everything. We're going to walk away with a few $1,000s. Like it's going to be great because I have heard about people having garage sales with crap and they walked away with $2,000. We had really nice pieces of furniture. Yeah.
We sold 2 or 3, maybe 4, 5.
No, James. No. We sold 3 pieces out of probably 10 big pieces. We sold only 3.
Yeah.
That's it. And so we were left with couches. That's with an S. We were left with tables. That's with an S. We were left with huge armoires. We were left with an entertainment center. Like, I don't know. I can't figure out why no one wanted it. And it was, I was getting so insulted. Like people would come to the moving sale and look at my bowls and plates and whatever I was selling, pick it up and put it down. Like, And I'm like, wait, hold on. That's from Crate and Barrel. That's really cute. What's wrong with that? Like I literally wanted to go up to this one woman and say, what's wrong with this bowl? Why'd you just like, scoff at it? I had to get out of the yard because I was like, what's wrong with my stuff? I like this stuff. Anyway.
Well, okay. So there was so much stuff in the front yard. There was so much stuff throughout the house. And a guy came into the backyard and said, I want to buy those 2 empty propane tanks from
I know.
you for the grill. And I was like,
it was stupid.
Okay. And so for $20, I took it.
It was, you know what? We had a house full of furniture, a front yard full of everything you could want to furnish a home. And people were asking me if my little cute art piece on the wall that somebody made for me was for sale. I was like, did you not see this couch? It's from Crate and Barrel. Do you not see this couch?
Yeah.
No, this $20 art cross is not for sale. But yeah, it was really discouraging. So that set us back because, okay, you can't move forward on anything with moving until your garage, or for in our case, moving sale is over.
Yeah.
Because how could we determine what we're going to do next if we don't have any furniture or we have furniture? That's the only way to determine our next move. So on the evening of that Sunday, when we looked around and our house looked exactly the same, except for our forks and knives that were sold. But everything else was there.
Yeah, we sold all the stuff that like we actually needed for
I
the
know.
last week.
It was-
myself included. I gave away things or sold.
I know.
Sold things.
It was
And
just,
I was like, damn, I needed that can opener.
I know.
You know?
know. So anyway, so
Couldn't open the dog food.
I still can't help anybody at this point. I have to really sit down and think like what a good plan of action is, because ours wasn't good. So in the end, we ended up giving almost everything away, like legitimately giving it, which I'm happy because people that took it seemed extremely appreciative.
I went to the mission and yeah.
It went to people who could really use it. It was hard. And we ended up moving a lot of it ourselves. It's just, oh my gosh.
No, yeah.
Forget
I remember
that.
doing a few trips where I'm like, I'm giving this away to somebody and I have to move it. I have to deliver it.
Yes. We're giving it away and delivering it. Yeah.
What kind of deal is that?
So the moving sale was a bust. Unfortunately, we walked away with, we thought it was going to be thousands of dollars. I, in my head, I don't know what you had. I was like, oh, we're going to make $4,000 off of this when my friends are making $1,800 off of stupid little knickknacks on a folding table. We're going to make at least $4,000 to $5,000 on our nice furniture. Yeah. We walked away with $400.
Yeah. So we just want to thank all our friends who came out to help us. We could not have done it without you. And there's no way. Yeah, that's not an understatement.
No.
The walkthrough ended up going really well. We turned over the keys on Monday, and without revisiting the harrowing experience of getting to Monday, I would just like to move on, frankly, and talk about
I know.
getting on
I
the
want
road.
to talk about it.
And
I know.
I
agree.
Let's get to Santa Rosa. How about that? That was our first stop on our way.
We were supposed to leave the house at 10 or 11 a.m. on a Monday but because the walkthrough was pushed back, we didn't leave the house until 2 p.m., which was fine. We had a nice lunch with our daughters, and Mia went to do her thing, and then we got on the road. But LA had the most epic send-off for us. It was actually so perfect. The 5 was shut down.
Yeah.
The I-5 was shut down.
And Ellie was still crying.
Yeah.
I cried that whole 9-hour car ride.
So what was
was
supposed to
crying
be
too.
a 6-hour car ride turned into a 9-hour car ride. So James booked us really honestly, I say the most fabulous room, because it was. I'd never been in a room as big. The bed was so cozy, but we just slept there.
Yeah.
It was
We
so
could not
unfortunate.
enjoy.
We got
so
there at 1 a.m.
The name of the place is the Art House in Santa Rosa. I haven't really brought it up, but I kind of liked Santa Rosa, so we might be done in our travels in finding our hometown. But
we're not moving to Santa Rosa. We're not coming back to California.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So, but I really liked it. I thought it was a great little city. The Art House was amazing. Our room was immense. It was really affordable.
It had to be like 1,000 square feet, that room. Maybe not that much, maybe 700. The room
and
was
they took
huge.
the dog.
And they took the dog. Yeah, wherever we go, we're taking the dog.
Yeah.
So
Which is how we ended up here.
yeah. So Santa Rosa was really a hit. He did a great job, but we couldn't enjoy it. We got there at 1 a.m. and we left the next day at 1 p.m., but we all slept in, and I just grabbed breakfast.
Who slept in?
Okay. Ellie slept in.
Ellie
I
slept
slept
in.
in.
Yeah.
You slept a little.
Tiny bit, but not
I was
as
up
much.
with the dog at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Our dog refused to go to the bathroom for 2 days. She's older. She's 12 or 13 years old.
She was constipated. Babe, she knows her tushy's not home. Okay.
Yeah. She didn't have her usual grass. I do feel bad. Like, I feel like we, in the melee of getting out of the house, like we totally handled it wrong. It's like her bed was older and smelly. So we just threw it away.
Oh, I know. There's dog lovers
I
out
left
here
her
who are
dog
like, what?
dish. I actually left her dog dish at the art house.
Yeah, we brought one article that was like her dog dish, and he left it in the
So
room.
we've essentially thrown all of Roxy's stuff into a burn pit. And so, there's nothing left.
I wouldn't go to the bathroom for 2 days too. I'd protest.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I got a total of 3 hours sleep after that hell drive, but you seem to do fine.
Yeah, I was fine. Honestly, I got the pull-out couch, and in my mind, I was like, ugh, I'm not going to sleep great. It was fantastic. I mean, they had a quilt in the closet, and I got to put that on, and I was cozy. I didn't even know that you took Roxy, because I woke up and my arm was around her, and we were
3
snuggling.
times.
Oh I did not even know. I
Every
was
time
passed
Dad
out.
came back, she'd jump up on that bed with you. Yeah.
She was so cute. I think also because I spent the entire day before crying for 24 hours straight, that like I was just so exhausted. So yeah, I slept really well.
So you and the dog were able to console each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Her with her
Except-
bathroom problems and you with losing your house.
Yeah, we're each other's support system for sure.
Roxy's like a regular person. When she's on vacation, she can't go.
I know. It's so true. It's
Well,
so
but I do
true.
think she's protesting, honestly.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even look at us. She had her head facing toward the door the entire
I know.
ride. It was
Yeah,
really
she's
bad.
Just like sullenly. It's. I said it's like the Pablo Escobar memes where he's just staring out in the distance in various photos all the time and just contemplating things. And she was just looking out the window like, I can't believe this is my life now. Like,
Um,
That's the look she had in her face.
She's like, I thought eventually I would just like, die in my sleep on Jellicoe Avenue or something. It's like,
No.
we've totally uprooted her life. She's doing better, for the record, today. We had a great morning this morning out on the little park area. So
She went?
She totally went. We're
Oh, I
good.
didn't even know that.
We're good. She's wagging her tail again.
Oh.
I think
Yeah.
she's acclimating to life on the road. I'm
She
very
started
excited.
crying again. Like she
Yeah,
cries
She whined
when
for food.
yeah,
this
she
morning.
whines and cries when she wants James to take her for a walk and wants to eat. So she was really
She's
in
very
his
bossy,
business
like
today.
everyone
So
else in this family. So, and that's her snoring in the background right now. She's at peace.
Yes.
So-
she knows we're talking about her.
So we left Santa Rosa. We had a much better drive yesterday.
It was pretty. It was really pretty, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Minus where we stopped to get food.
Oh, okay. So this is one thing that no one ever talks about is when you drive through the redwoods, how frightening the people are. I'm not really sure why no one discusses it. Everyone says, oh, the redwoods, it's beautiful. It's this, it's that. We've been to the redwoods. We were in the redwoods 2 years ago during the pandemic is when we took our road trip. I would never, ever, ever stay here, ever. We got out of the car and just to give you an example, there was a kid, I'd say kid, he's like 20, trying to get into the credit union and they locked the door.
We're talking Garberville. That's the name of the place.
Yeah, Garberville. And they locked the door and they wouldn't let him in. And he kept saying to them, but my card's not working. And if you looked at him, you wouldn't have let him in either. And the lady said, nope. She was shaking her head. She goes, you're not coming in. So I said to James, stay in the car. I'll go get the food. Well, he had to stay with the
Yeah,
dog.
the building we parked in front of had like mirrored windows, so you couldn't see what's inside. And I think it was a security measure. So
Yeah, I don't understand why no one talks about the people, mountain people. They're frightening. I'm not going to lie. They are.
Yeah. I'm
Some
sitting
are.
in the car. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. And Mom's like, James, and like comes up to the window and she's like, we have to take this food to go. And I'm like, why? She's like, there's a man with no teeth playing the flute in front of the restaurant.
Because there was no,
we're
look,
used to that.
I'm used to that, but we had to sit outside with the dog. And I knew for a fact there was no way this guy was going to engage with us. So
Yeah.
there was 2 tables. He was at one of them playing his flute, and he was going to start talking. So I was like, I'm not doing this.
I
I'm
would
just
say,
not
given
doing this.
everything, we were not in the mood for a pan flute solo.
No, we were not. And
This is so funny.
yeah, look, honestly, there's no dental office in sight in any of these towns.
Well,
Yeah.
Eureka was nice. And I would also say
Yeah, it was more,
Cathedral City looked pretty cool. A nice little hub.
But when you go through even
but some
Avenue,
of the smaller areas, it was like, woo, major sketch factor. We had seen that before in Del Rio, Northern California.
do not go to Del
Some
Rio.
of the other places.
It just looks like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. A lot of drug problems, a lot of crystal meth. Everyone, it's no secret.
And it sucks because Humboldt County is gorgeous. Like the Avenue of the Giants, the forests, everything. Arcata, however you say it, is.
Where the university is.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty cool. We didn't bother to stop. We were just in a hurry to get to Oregon at that point. But, and speaking of getting to Oregon, we ended up finding a motel. It wasn't the one we wanted to stay in. There was one that I know it's hard. So if you're listening and you can picture a huge horse mural, painted wallpaper. Yeah. It's wallpaper.
It's
I thought it was a
wallpaper.
mural.
No, it's wallpaper.
yeah.
You can see the grooves.
There's glue.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely one. Like I could have stayed here, I guess, by myself, but even by myself as a dude, I probably would have given it a second thought. It didn't matter. By the time that we sealed the deal on a hotel, once we figured out what time we were leaving, where we were, which direction we were headed, all that, we lost out on a hotel in Bandon, which is where we're actually headed today.
But what city are we in?
We are currently in
Coquille,
Oregon. And it's a nice little town. I actually, drove around. There's a jailhouse right down the road, like a mile away.
Oh, let's go check that out.
Yeah. So nothing but the best for my family. And so,
look, the first review said they had roaches, and I was just so happy I haven't seen a roach. And when I said to James kept saying, it has good reviews. And then I was like, you know what?
I'm Booking.com.
I'm gonna go to TripAdvisor, and the first review is like, there are roaches. I saw roaches, and I sat up in the bed and I said, James, they have roaches, and he goes, of course they do. That was his response.
Have you seen this room?
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then and I immediately we hurried and lifted all of our bags off the floor and put them on dressers, but haven't seen a roach yet, so I think I'm okay. As long as I don't see a roach, I'm fine.
Yeah. So, but we're going to wrap this up because guess what? Someone has to be in Seattle in less than 24 hours. And we've got a schlep ahead of us to do that. And we still want to go to Bandon. Denise is very insistent on getting her fish and chips that she got during the pandemic. I hope the place is still open. I really do.
It was open during the pandemic. Why wouldn't it be open past the pandemic?
I remember what it looks
things
like.
happen.
And everything.
You're right. It was blue with picnic tables. Okay.
Yep.
They weren't very friendly. I don't care. Just give me those fish and chips. They were not friendly. They were like, could care less.
Oh, yeah. There's a fudge store that's really good, like a candy store.
That's it. I think we're going to wrap it up. We will have more coming next week from Seattle.
Woo!
We'll have a quick farewell for Ellie as well. Yes. And before we do that, I think it goes without saying, your mother and I are very proud of you.
We are.
You've done such a great job. You had a variety of different offers to go to different schools for different reasons, and you set yourself up for success. We are more than pleased at the outcome so far, and we wish you the best of luck, obviously, as we will still follow you around to all your games at the ball.
We are.
It's not like we're going anywhere. So
we're literally going to be
your
behind.
house may be gone, but you're still stuck with us forever. So
oh my God. Thank you guys for everything. I'm sorry I didn't help pack up the house.
You're a snot.
But you
No, you're
guys
not.
are the best.
No, you're not.
You are a little snot.
She's a total brat.
All right, guys, that's a wrap for this episode. We'll catch you next week from a new city.
Empty nest, full tank.
Yeah.
Go Red Hawks!
Woo, Red Hawks.
Go Red Hawks.
Go Red Hawks.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.